on for a second. I am getting my wine. Get your wine, get your snacks, everybody. We about to have a story time and turn up on a Friday. Ah! Hey, what's up, my beautiful Glamazons? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are ready for another story time because y'all know we be turning up on Fridays. So today's story is going to be in addition to my Wingman Chronicles. I have not added on to that series of my story times. This was one of the many awkward moments that I was placed in my life because I was being a wingman for my fucking friend. So if you guys would like to hear this awkward as fuck story, please keep watching. As usual, before we get into today's story time, today's glamour shot of the day is my gorgeous Glamazon, Aurora. Aurora, you look amazing and you're so beautiful. Thank you so much for sending me your glamour shot. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. You guys know that I would not be here without you. I could not do this without you guys. Now let's get into this story time. This is going to be the time that I got with my best friend's man. Before I start getting hate comments, just fucking hear me out. Just relax, get your wine, get your popcorn, get your snacks, have yourself a good time, and listen to my story, okay? I know a lot of you guys love to sit there and comment and shit before y'all even see the video, and then some of y'all will even come back to your original comment and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't wait until the end before commenting. Like, yeah, I know. So this story takes place when I was around 16 years old, and Alicia and I were still going to school together, and Alicia was my best friend. We had gone to school, it was a Friday like any other Friday, and we were trying to plan what we were gonna do for the weekend because like 9 times out of 10 I hung out with Alicia on the weekends because we always lived really close together. There was a point in time when she lived in the same apartment complex that I did, so like we constantly saw each other. We were like getting our stuff out of our locker, getting ready to leave, and we started talking about what we wanted to do this weekend, and she was like, girl, you should like come over and like just like let's have a movie night and just chill at my house. Alicia was raised by a single dad, and he went out on a lot of dates, you guys. Like I feel like he was legit like a pimp, all right, because he had dates every fucking weekend, and he was not looking for like a relationship, like you could tell. So she had a lot more freedom than I did, so I loved going to her house and just like acting like we were grown and we lived together. We didn't have no parents or nothing. Her dad was just like pimping like that, so he would like constantly go on dates. Yeah, girl, you know my dad's not gonna be home this weekend again. He can sneak into his liquor cabinet. We were bad as fuck. We decided to be dumb as fuck and plan on just basically getting shit-faced at her house because we have no friends. In the middle of our conversation, here comes her boyfriend. I don't remember what I named him in my last video, but we'll just call him Keith, okay? So I see Keith walk up, and he doesn't walk right up to the lockers. He kind of like stands a little off and like looks at Alicia like, hey, come over here and talk to me. So I was like, I don't want to hear y'all stupid conversation anyway. Alicia goes over there, meets him or whatever, and this was pretty normal. They like always like said goodbye like that, and then he would let me walk her to the buses because we were going to the same place. So like I said, I never had a true issue with him because he let me have my space as the best friend, like get the fuck out my face, don't nobody want you here kind of thing. And he would be like, all right, I got you. So like we had an unspoken like agreement, right? I check back every few minutes. Nope, she's still talking. All right. So I swear, you guys, like they took for fucking ever and acted like they were never gonna see each other ever again in life. But finally, Alicia is done sucking his face off and she comes with me, right? So we take off walking and we're gonna go to the buses. We go right back into our conversation about what we want to do this weekend and like, you know, what video games we want to play, what movies we want to see, how much popcorn we're about to eat, and we're gonna put some M&Ms in the popcorn. We're like planning our shit, right? So like we're getting all hype about it. Go home first so that I can like pack a bag or whatever. And I get home, I call my mom and I ask her, hey, is it okay if I spend the night with Alicia, blah, 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 for the weekend? And my mom already knew Alicia, already had multiple conversations with her father. We lived so close to each other that if I didn't answer or like something went awry, my mom could get to me to beat my ass within like 2 minutes. So she was good. She was like, yeah, you know, whatever, we don't have anything going on this weekend, go have fun. But if I find out that you guys are doing anything, I'm gonna beat your ass. Every time she would say yes, it wasn't just like a yes and like, yes, I get to like go do it. Be like, yes, and then get yelled at about the shit that will happen to me if I decide to fuck up. After I was done getting yelled at for things that I had not yet done, I went over to my room, packed my shit, and left. I'm like walking distance from Alicia's place. At the time, she wasn't living in our apartment complexes anymore. Like within the last year, her dad started making some pretty good money and moved her literally like 2 blocks down the street into a little house. I go down the street and I get to her house, and I loved her house, you guys. Like, she was so fucking lucky. The house that they lived in, it had like the main floor, and it was like the living room and the kitchen and the dining room, and then there's like these 3 little stairs, and it's like a little loft area. It has a smaller living room down there, a full bedroom, a full bathroom, and then there's another door. You open that door, there are basement steps that take you down to the basement, right? If you go back to the main floor though, there are also a flight of stairs that go upstairs. So her dad's room was upstairs, and her dad let her have that entire loft area. So she had her own living room, her own bathroom, and access to the basement, okay? So like, she had basically like her own fucking apartment. The only time she ever had to go upstairs was when she would go to the kitchen, and that was it. But anyways, I get to her house, and we had been friends for so long at this point that honestly, I never knocked. I would just walk into her house. Anytime she knew that I was on my way, she would unlock the door and I would just walk in, right? So I walk into her house and I go down to her little apartment basically, and I see that her room door is shut. As a bestie, I don't really give a fuck. Shut doors don't mean a thing to me. I went and I opened her room door, and this bitch was sitting on her bed with her stupid little Cricket flip phone trying to take titty pictures for her boyfriend. I'm opening the door like, really, bitch? Really? And after that, she really didn't say much. And usually, you guys, it was never awkward. Like, she was my best friend. So I could tell that something was fucking different. Someone's trying to play me here. What the fuck is going on? I like try to break the silence, and I was like, hey, what movies do you want to watch, girl? Like, I brought my snacks, and I start like unpacking my bag and like trying to get her excited. She's just like sitting there like fucking weird and like stone-faced. And I was like, bitch, the fuck is wrong with you? I did not bring my hot Cheetos and my fucking Sour Patch Kids for you to be acting weird. So I see that she's not really getting excited, and I'm just like, okay. So I stop what I'm doing and I look at her and I was like, what's wrong? So every time she starts a sentence with so, it's because she is about to fucking drop a bomb on my entire life. And if there was one thing about Alicia that I knew, was that she loved to drop bombs on me. She loved to have some last minute bullshit be put on my plate. What? So I'm like looking at her like, bitch, I was just trying to chill and watch me some scary movies with my Sour Patch Kids and my popcorn, bitch. The fuck did you do? She was like, well, you know my dad's leaving tonight. You know, he's going on his date. And I was like, yeah. I was like, we about to have the house to ourselves. Like, what? And she was like, yeah, well, because he's not gonna be here, I invited my boyfriend. Wait, hold on. Hold the fuck up. Wait for a second. Spend my weekend with you and your man? You want me to third wheel it my whole fucking weekend? Are you fucking kidding me? I cannot third wheel it, girl. Like, no, I hate that so much. So fucking awkward, and it's gross. You guys are gross. And she was like, he just wants to come over and watch movies with us. He promise we won't make out. We won't be touching on each other. Like, I promise, please. Like, I just feel like it would be nice for all of us to hang out. In what fucking world would it be nice for my ass to be hanging out with you and your man? So here's Alicia dropping this fucking bomb on me, and I can tell that she really wants it, and I had such a soft spot for Alicia. Had it been anybody else, I would have said no, fuck that, peace out. But it was my best friend, and you know, you do shit for your best friend that you just don't feel like doing, but you do it anyway. I'm gonna need a lot of alcohol, and I better not hear the slightest sound of y'all spit intermingling. Do you understand? At the slightest little I'm out. All right, I am out. Whoa, I was so mad at her, and I was like, you are about to get punched in your throat. I can't believe you. Like, what the fuck, man? I'm like throwing a fit, and I'm like, I can't believe this bullshit. This is bullshit. So on and I start throwing my fits or whatever, and then we hear her dad coming down the stairs. I go upstairs to tell him bye before he leaves on his date, and he has to have the infamous fucking discussion with us about how to act when we are home alone. No opening the doors for strangers, no parties, and
no boys.
I'm just sitting there side-eyeing Alicia like, yeah, bitch. You don't even follow the rules, bitch. Cause you're about to have a boy over here, bitch. We're just like, okay, bye. So he takes off and now we have the house to ourselves. Before we can even lock the front door, you guys, Alicia's already bolting back to her room to get on the phone to call Keith's bitch ass so he can get here. Oh! You don't even want like 5 minutes alone with me. Like you just ready for him to be here. Okay, all right. So being the bad little teenage little shit that I was fucking pissed. So I decided to raid her dad's liquor. I went through his vodka and made me a mixed drink while fucking Alicia was making plans with Keith and telling him to get his sexy ass over here. At that very moment in my mind, I just decided that I was just gonna be shit-faced for the whole thing. Like that's the only way that I'm gonna be able to get through this because I hate third wheel in it, and if I even see or get a whiff that they are trying to have sex in front of me, I'm going to lose my shit. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get started on getting shit-faced, all right? So I go and I plop myself down on the couch and I'm just throwing a fucking fit, you guys. Like I'm so fucking annoyed. I turn on her TV and I'm trying to find something to watch, okay? Meanwhile, Alicia's crazy ass is from the bathroom to her room, from her room to the bathroom, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to get herself ready and look all cute and shit because Keith's funky ass is coming over. 5 minutes later, we hear the doorbell ring. So, you know, I look up and I'm like, hey, Keith, what's up? And he was like, oh, hey, Nikki, what's up? Immediately, you guys, it's awkward as fuck. And like, I'm just like not even in the mood. I'm already kind of tipsy. So he comes inside and Alicia tells him to come sit down on the couch. So here this fucker comes and he comes and sits down on the couch, like on the furthest end of the couch. And like, I'm all the way on the other end and I'm just like, this is some fucking bullshit. So fucking awkward because he and I don't know each other like that. We've never tried to get to know each other, so I'm just like, why? She's like, I'm gonna go make us some drinks, I'll be right back. She leaves me and him down in the loft together by ourselves. This bitch right here is really trying to make shit awkward for me. Like, what the fuck? So I was like, you know what? No, I'm coming with you. So I grabbed my drink and I was like, I need a refill anyway. I go up into the kitchen and I follow Alicia in there. And we start like bickering and I'm like, how the fuck are you trying to leave me by myself down there with him? It's so awkward. Like, we don't know each other like that, Alicia. I did not agree to this. Like, I cannot believe this. You guys are gonna end up having sex in front of me. And she's like, no, we're not. We're just gonna have a good time. He makes me another drink. We get all the drinks and we go back down in the loft to enjoy our awkward fucking night. So we picked the movie and it starts and I was like, oh fuck, I need to go make my popcorn. I go upstairs and I put my popcorn in the microwave, trying to hurry up in the kitchen and make my popcorn because I don't want to give them enough time to like start like doing some nasty shit and then I'm really in an awkward position. So you guys, I felt like I was the fucking parent. I kept like looking around the corner and Alicia would like look up at me and I'd be like, let me find out. Like I was like really proud and I was really impressed and I was like, okay, you guys are actually gonna behave and I'm gonna be able to have a good time. Like, all right, cool. We started drinking, all right, and we start getting booked up. We get through all of the Chainsaw Massacre and the whole time we're just drinking and eating, and we really didn't have to watch how much we were drinking because Alicia's dad didn't keep a close eye on his alcohol, so basically like we could have as much as we wanted and we were being bad as fuck. We were so messy, you guys. Like we were laughing at stupid shit. We ended up putting on, I think it was like Cat Williams stand-up. We were like watching Cat Williams and we were laughing our asses off and we were just acting stupid and running around and just like going to get more drinks and shit. And basically we were having our own mini party and Keith turned out to be pretty fucking chill. Like he wasn't annoying. He wasn't trying to make babies with my friend right in front of me. Like he had some respect. There were times in the past when Alicia's dad wouldn't get home until really early in the morning, like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. We weren't expecting her dad to come home. Like we were just chilling and we were having fun, right? I just remember Alicia getting up and like she was kind of like stumbling to the bathroom and I didn't know if she was gonna throw up or if she was like just needed to pee. My drunk ass, I just remember like thinking, like my thoughts were like really slow and I could tell that I was really fucked up. I kept thinking that Alicia was in there throwing up. Like I don't know why I thought that, but I was like, she's throwing up. My drunk ass gets up off the couch and Keith is still watching Cat Williams, right? And he's like so into it and just laughing and being drunk as fuck. I'm like stumbling over to the bathroom and in my head, Alicia's in there throwing up her guts. I don't know why, I didn't hear anything. I was just like, my girl's throwing up, she needs me, like she's sick. I barge into the bathroom and Alicia's just peeing. She's like holding herself up against the wall and she's like just peeing. I go into the bathroom, I'm drunk as fuck, and like I look at myself in the mirror while she's peeing and she doesn't even pay me no mind. She's just like whatever, just enjoying her pee, okay? I go in and I shut the door, so me and her are together in the bathroom. I don't remember what I said, but I was like basically telling her, oh dude, I thought you were sick. I don't even remember what we were talking about. I just remember somehow my drunk ass ended up laughing so hard that I hit the floor and I legit was sitting there rolling around on her bathroom floor while Alicia was still peeing on the toilet. Like that's how drunk we were getting, okay? At this point, things seem really like distorted and I'm starting to like really feel the alcohol. I like get myself up off the floor and I remember looking at myself in the mirror and like I was like all pale and like I was just like fucked up, you guys. Like I looked a hot mess. I'm like looking at myself in the mirror and then all of a sudden I hear Alicia crying. I don't remember what the fuck she was crying about, to be honest. I just remember running over and sitting on the tub and hugging her while she's still on the toilet and being like, oh my god, don't cry. I end up crying because she's crying and we're both drunk as fuck. So we're both sitting in this bathroom, you guys, and her man is right outside in the loft area watching Cat Williams. Meanwhile, both of our drunk asses locked ourselves in the bathroom and we're just sitting there holding each other, just crying it out, girl. Finally, we stopped crying. And again, I don't know what the fuck we were crying about. I had to let Alicia finish her business because she was still on the toilet. So I go back over to the sink and like I'm trying to like clean my face because we had just been crying. And you know, Alicia handles her business and she gets up and she pulls up her pants. She comes and stands next to me by the sink. And I'm like cleaning my face off and she's washing her hands and like doing the same thing with her face. All of a sudden, I hear a beep beep. And that beep beep was her dad's car being locked. That's what we always listen for, was her dad getting out of his car and locking his car. We panicked, like there was nothing, that we were drunk as fuck, like we had just had a cry fest. Keith is out there in the loft by himself and we just heard the beep beep, which means that her dad is like 2 feet away from the front door. There's nothing that we can do. We can't sneak the boy out. We can't like sober ourselves up. So like we start freaking the fuck out. Alicia just bolts. She opens the bathroom door and she goes upstairs and she like is meeting her dad face to face. Alicia has some balls, all right? I like start freaking out and the only thing that I could think of was to go sit on the couch. So she runs upstairs and her dad comes in through the door and was like, Alicia, what are you doing up? It's late. Me and Nikki were just watching movies and like while she was up there talking to her dad, I went and I sat down on the couch next to Keith. There was nothing else that we could do. There was no windows in that little living room area and there was no way that I could get him from there to Alicia's room or the basement without dad seeing him. So I had no fucking choice. We were just stuck in that room and when he walks past, he's gonna see us. So I was like, I'm just gonna fucking take it. I guess I'm dying today, you guys. I guess today is gonna be the day because my mom is gonna kill me. Alicia's talking to her dad and you could tell that she's kind of drunk and he was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you guys doing? And she was like, oh, nothing, you know, we're just hanging out. I'm hanging out with some friends. She said friends, plural. He stopped and he was like, what do you mean friends? Before she could even answer that question, here he comes and he stands right in front of the stairs to the loft and is looking down at me and Keith on the couch. He looked at Alicia, looked at me, looked at Keith, looked at Alicia again, and I'm like holding my breath, you guys, because Alicia's dad was just as crazy as my mom. Like, he was going to kill Alicia, like fucking kill her. My crazy drunk ass looked at this man and said, hi, Mr. Smith, this is my boyfriend, Keith. I didn't even understand what was coming out of my mouth until it had already come out of my mouth. And I didn't think about it. There was no plan for it. Like, I don't know why I did it. I just didn't want Alicia to get killed right in front of me. So the only thing that I could think of was to just say that this was my man. Like, he's not my daddy, so he can't do shit to me. It's no big deal. I'm talking to this grown-ass man about me sneaking in a boy into his house and like nonchalant, like, yeah, bitch, like this is my boyfriend. Like, hey, what's up? Like, we're just chilling. Honestly, wasn't a plan. I could see it in his eyes, you guys. He was about to murder my friend. You guys, he looked at me with such disgust in his eyes. Like, I can't even explain it. Like, he looked at me like I was some kind of whore. Like, he was so disappointed, and I was just like, the whole time, he would not take his eyes off me. And he was like, Keith, you need to get your shit and get out of my house. And I'm like scared for my life, you guys. So Keith gets up immediately and starts walking towards the door. He has no choice but to walk past Alicia's dad to get out. While Keith was walking up the stairs next to Alicia's dad, you could tell that it was taking every fiber in his being to not beat the shit out of this little boy that's in his house. He actually lets Keith leave. He lets Keith leave, and then he slams the door, and now, like, I'm fucking terrified. And I'm like, oh my God, my life is over. He's gonna call my mom. I am about to die, everybody. These are my last moments. He stands there, you guys, and like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he looked at Alicia and said, get your ass down there. And like, it was like so fucking scary. His voice had so much bass in it that it like bounced off the walls. Like, it was fucking terrifying. I sobered up real quick, girl. Like, all of a sudden, shit made perfect sense, and I realized how much trouble I was in right now. He came down the stairs and he sat there and just stared at us. Like, just fucking stared at us like he could see right through our little shitty teenage souls. I feel like in that very moment he was debating on whether or not he wanted to go to prison for killing us, because he was fucking pissed. He was so pissed. He sat there, you guys, and he just stared into our souls for a few minutes, and Alicia and I just sat there and didn't breathe and didn't even make a noise. And then he finally looked at me and said, I'm so disappointed in you. Don't ever have a little boy in my house again. If you ever have a boy in my house again, I will call your mother immediately. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. He just sat there and looked around and looked at Alicia and said, clean this shit up. And he was like talking about all of our cups and shit, and he went upstairs. We didn't know what to expect. Like, he just said, clean this shit up, and then stormed off upstairs and went to his room and slammed the fucking door. And so like, I was like, is that it? Like, we're actually alive. Like, it made me feel even worse for like disrespecting his house like that. Part of me was like pissed at Alicia, because I was like, dude, your dad probably thinks that I'm some kind of hoe now. Like, he's not gonna like me as your friend anymore because I had to cover for you. Like, it was either that or you get killed right in front of me. You guys, I had never felt like such a piece of shit than I did that night. Like, I just felt so bad. Alicia and I, you know, ended up cleaning up the whole living room, and we were sick as fuck because of all of the alcohol that we drank. And he didn't even like talk to us about that. I don't even know if he knew that we had been drinking, or if like he could smell it, or if we were like really drunk. But he never said anything about it. Like, he didn't yell at us about that either. Like, it was just like really fucking weird. It was one of those things, like, you know, when you expect like the worst punishment ever, and then your parent is just like, no, I want you to sit here and feel like a piece of shit. Like, that was how we felt. So like, we were like walking on eggshells for the rest of the night. I was like fully convinced that her dad was gonna get a hold of my mom the next day and tell her. But I ended up going home and my mom never mentioned it. I honestly don't think that he told. Thanks, Alicia's dad, if you ever see this. Thanks for like keeping my secret, even though it wasn't really my secret. But like, I felt so bad, because you guys, he probably thought that I was like his daughter's hoe ass friend that just has boys around, and like, it wasn't even that. And I just felt really embarrassed and just like really ashamed. Like, he just made me feel dirty. Like, he just made me feel like so terrible. Yeah, so that is the story about the time that I got with my best friend's man. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you did, please don't forget to give me a huge thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. Also, don't forget to hit that huge subscribe button to be notified of all of my new videos, especially story times here on my channel every single Friday. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Peace out.